This is Problem Solved, the IISE podcast, where we talk to industrial and systems engineers about their work, ideas, and solutions.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Problem Solved, the IISE podcast. I'm James Swisher, Director of Continuing Education for IISE, and I'll be your co-host today, along with Dr. Elizabeth Gentry. Now, we have a very special episode today with a panel of award-winning operational excellence practitioners. Each of these folks has won an award at IISE's Lean Six Sigma and Data Science Conference in the past few years, and we're hoping to learn a few of their incredible secrets. And if you like what you hear, please consider submitting an abstract for the conference and join us in Atlanta in September. Speaking of the conference, here's today's co-host and the 2021 conference chair, Dr. Elizabeth Gentry. Dr. Gentry, say hello and tell the crowd a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, James. So my name is Dr. Elizabeth Gentry, and I am the chair for the 2021 conference. We are all excited about the conference this year. It's going to be the first in-person conference that IISE has had in a year and a half. So I'm excited about seeing everybody in person. It's going to be in Atlanta. I've been to many of these conferences, and I absolutely love them. I love how you can network with a lot of different people in different industries who are all wanting to process improve using Lean, using Six Sigma, using data science. In the past conferences, I've heard from IBM, from Chick-fil-A, from Mayo Clinic, and I've learned so much about it. And my background is academia and healthcare, but I teach a lot of Six Sigma classes for IISE. And some of the examples that I learned from the conference, I actually use in my Six Sigma classes now, and the students love them. So I am excited about learning more in this year's conference. So I hope you enjoy the podcast.
Thanks so much, Dr. Gentry. I'm really looking forward to it. These are some pretty special guests here. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome those guests. We have with us today, Johanna Ficatier, Michael Testani, and Hungda Wan. Welcome, Johanna, Michael, and Hungda. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves? Maybe Johanna, could you introduce yourself first?
Sure. My name is Johanna, and I am currently a quality improvement advisor at Mayo Clinic. So I'm in the research administration, and I am basically a resource for anyone who needs some help with process improvement. It could be leading a project from DLC, or it could be some specific help on some specific part of the project. And I'm not limited to Lean Six Sigma process improvement. I also help with business intelligence and basically anything related to quality that anyone in research administration might need some help with.
Wow, that's a lot on your plate, Johanna. Welcome. Michael, how about you?
Thank you, James. Yes, this is Michael Tastani. I'm the Director of Industrial Outreach here at Binghamton University. So I am responsible for aligning our wonderful faculty and students with industries to help them meet their technical challenges. I also wear a hat similar to James in that I'm responsible for our continuing education programs as well, which I'm delighted to be a part of. And prior to coming to Binghamton University in 2018, I spent about 20 years at the IBM Corporation, where I was responsible for Lean and Lean Six Sigma deployments across the enterprise. And as you probably know, IBM was very involved with artificial intelligence as one of their strategic thrusts. So got involved with using AI in Lean and especially Lean Six Sigma initiatives. So glad to be here. Thank you, James. Thank you, Liz.
Great to have you, Michael. I really appreciate that dual lens that you bring to problems of both from a practical applications perspective and from an academic and research perspectives. Thanks for being on. And last, but most certainly not least, is Dr. Hungda Wan. Welcome, Hungda.
Thank you, James. Hello, everyone. My name is Hungda Wan. I'm a faculty member of the University of Texas in San Antonio. And I am in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, but we also have a master's degree in advanced manufacturing and enterprise engineering. And so with our academic programs, I teach a lot of courses about Lean Six Sigma manufacturing systems and so on. And we also work with the local industry quite a bit in terms of training and implementing Lean Six Sigma project. So I've been I would say, a loyal fan of the engineering Lean Six Sigma conference. And I'm really looking forward to attending again.
Well, we're looking forward to having you. You have definitely been a loyal attendee and an award-winning attendee. We're going to talk about that soon. So, but I'm going to put Johanna on the spot first in terms of award winners. So, Johanna has been a loyal attendee over the last several years as well of the Lean Six Sigma and Data Science Conference, and I think she might hold the record. I'm not positive on this. We're going to have to check the record books, but I think she might hold the record as the only person to win an award as a student and as a professional at the conference, and to have won the best poster and the best paper competitions. So congratulations, Johanna. First question for you is, what's your secret?
Thank you. So my secret is very simple. I think you need confidence and a process. Now, it's super easy to say. And as I started as a student, I didn't have any of those. I was just focusing on graduating from my degree, and winning a paper was way above anything I could imagine.
Right.
I was lucky enough to have an academic advisor, Dr. Ozelkan, who was also a repeat attendee of the Lean Six Sigma conference. And he's the one who really pushed me to attend the conference, to present the research project that we were working on, and to also submit a poster and a paper. So when you get that kind of recommendation from your academic advisor, you cannot say no. And as terrified as I was, I prepared the presentation, the poster, and the paper. And that's really what I learned from winning the paper award as a student with no confidence is, if I can do it, I think anyone can do it. And that really motivated me to every year, just try. What's the worst that's going to happen? You might not win, but you would have learned a lot through the process of preparing your paper, and maybe you can go and publish it somewhere else. So nothing to lose, a lot to win. Just be confident. Just go ahead and try.
That's really awesome. My
second point on having a process, if you maybe notice every year, I do present the same project that I use for my poster and my paper. So now every year, it's just beginning of the year, I know the abstract is going to come. I just look back at my previous year and like, what was the best project? Then I prepare an abstract. Then I prepare a presentation. From that presentation, I can then go on and prepare a poster and then prepare a paper. So once you have really a process in place, everything becomes very easy.
Man, that is awesome feedback, Johanna. And that's really good advice. I mean, why not use the project that you have on your mind to cover all three bases? Now, I will have to say, if you were ever scared, I never saw it. So you must have faked it awfully well.
That's the accent.
No, I think you're just humble. I can't imagine you ever being scared, but you have certainly done a fantastic job. Great advice. Well, I'm going to jump over to Hungda and ask him a similar question, because if Johanna holds the records for most wins in most fields at the conference, I'm pretty sure that Hungda holds the record for just most total wins across all categories. So now Hungda is a past conference chair, and maybe most importantly to me anyway, Hungda is a Virginia Tech Hokie at heart. Now I know he's at UTSA now, and there you go. I love it. We're getting a VT. You guys can't see that, but we're getting a VT here. So really appreciate all that Hungda has done over many years to support the conference. And he has won a lot of awards at the conference over the years. Hungda, what keeps you coming back to the conference each year?
Yes, James, it's really an honor. I'm not sure about the record, but I definitely feel honored for being recognized by so many experts in the field in Lean Six Sigma. And so, I mean, it's really an amazing feeling that our work and efforts get recognized and approved by the experts and leaders in the Lean Six Sigma world. And so I can, just like Johanna said, I can tell everyone, you get a chance if you want to try you can, I mean, this is a great platform for you to present your work and, come here with your paper and poster. And it's an amazing feeling to talk to people with, the same background, speaking the same language in Lean Six Sigma. So in terms of keep coming back, I can tell you, I also attend the annual conference, the IISE annual conference pretty regularly. But I feel that I like the Lean Six Sigma and data science conference particularly because I really enjoy the kind of the feeling of a big family. Yeah, so that's the place I met with James, Johanna, Michael, and many other people, and we become good friends. And so it's a, like I said, it's a feeling of family getting together, and we all share the same background. We learn about Lean Six Sigma. We like to present our work in Lean Six Sigma, and so it feels like everyone understands what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah. So the feeling is really amazing, and I can tell you a little secret. I came to US in 2002, and 2 years later, I presented my work. Well, our work got presented at the annual Lean Management Solutions Conference in 2004, and I think that's the so-called the before of Lean Engineering Lean Six Sigma conference.
Right.
Yeah. So, well, I'm honest. I'm the loyal fan of this conference for a long time now.
That is loyalty. So you've been through like 3 name changes now.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah. 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 And I think to me, the Lean conference, the Lean Six Sigma conference is it's a lot smaller, but really focused. So we feel comfortable sharing the same expertise and talking about the same things. And I particularly enjoy the opportunity to connect and learn from the experts in the field. For example, my wife has been telling me that, well, Chick-fil-A has been doing something different and amazing. They can serve customers so fast. And I turn around and tell my wife, I know the secret. I know what they're doing because I learned it from David.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the wonderful things about this conference is it's such a family atmosphere, and they're people who've walked in your shoes and people who speak your language. And so it's nice to meet so many like-minded people. And I'm like you, I have so many friends that I never would have known if it hadn't been for this conference. So I feel really fortunate to be part of this community. I'm going to turn for a moment to Michael. One of the things that we've worked hard to do over the last year, I mentioned name changes. And one of the things that we've worked hard to do over the last year is really have a broader tent and be more inclusive for how people are really applying Lean Six Sigma and other improvement approaches, really in an industry 4.0 setting. And what that means for many people is that we've got a lot more data than we ever had. And so we see so many of our practitioners really practicing as much data science as they practice traditional Lean and Six Sigma techniques. And so that's one of the reasons that we really wanted to highlight both Lean Six Sigma and data science in what we're doing at the conference, because so many of our practitioners are really doing both. So wonderful to have Michael with us today. And as I mentioned, he's worked in both industry and in academia, and he's used a wide variety of operational excellence techniques across both settings. And last year at our conference, he and Dr. Benamaba gave a great keynote speech on artificial intelligence and its applications to the work that we do as industrial engineers and Lean Six Sigma practitioners. Mike, how do you see AI becoming part of what IEs do to solve problems?
Yeah, great question, James. Thanks for that. And thanks for acknowledging last year's conference. That was a ton of fun. We did that live virtual. I think we were the first ones at IISE to do a live virtual conference. So that was really cool. It's always fun to be a pioneer, sometimes scary, but fun.
That's right. Fun and scary at the same time. Yeah.
And as you rightly point out, Dr. Benamaba does a wonderful job in terms of painting the landscape of artificial intelligence and where it's at today. And more importantly, where's it going and what's the industrial engineer's role in that? So for those who have been at the prior conferences, Dr. Amabe, he's outstanding, gets everybody excited, including myself, right, about the prospects for artificial intelligence. And there's a ton of synergy there with Lean Six Sigma, and AI, because as you rightly pointed out, the amount of information data that we're dealing with is just expanding rapidly. In fact, it's hard to even wrap our minds around how rapidly it's expanding. 50 billion devices and more currently connected to the internet, now smart devices, and that's going to grow by 10x this decade alone. And the amount of data traveling across those devices into the cloud and into databases is just growing exponentially. So I think that's where it starts in terms of, our role as industrial and systems engineers is, how can we access that data, that vast amount of data, and what can we do with it? And I think artificial intelligence provides that answer, right? Because it gives us the tools to find patterns within these mountains of data, right? Machine learning, deep learning, even fuzzy logic, right, to an extent, can all be applied to understand what's happening underneath the data and identify patterns that we just can't do practically anymore with traditional Lean Six Sigma techniques, right? So I think, but having said that, right, I think artificial intelligence has its place alongside of Lean Six Sigma because it's not going to solve the problem for you, right? I think it's great at pointing us to where the problem is and potentially some causal factors, but we still have to solve it as industrial and systems engineers, and we're great problem solvers, right?
We haven't found a way to take the IE out of the equation yet, right?
Not yet,
which is a good thing, I think.
Knock on wood. So, hopefully we'll make it through our careers, before they figure out how to automate us.
That's right.
I don't think that's coming anytime soon. So we'll be there as decision makers, and AI is just going to help us make better decisions.
That's awesome. I really appreciate that. I think it's an exciting field for IEs, and we certainly see younger IEs coming into the field with a good idea about how to apply those tools. But for us more mature folks, I guess I'll say, for those of us that have a little bit of gray, or maybe a lot, in my case, I guess, Michael, what do you think in terms of for folks who don't have that confidence yet in how to get started in the expanding and growing field of AI and data science in general, what's a good place for folks to start? If they've got a IE degree from 25 years ago and are really excited about new technology and new frontiers, but don't know how to get started.
Yeah, that's a great question, and it comes up a lot. And I probably start by looking at Industry 4.0, right? And what that's all about. And there's many different dimensions to that, which is why I think it's so difficult sometimes for us to answer that question, right? I mean, there's certainly the smart manufacturing aspect of that. And, when I say Industry 4.0, it's not just confined to the manufacturing domain, as we all know. It's any domain, manufacturing, health systems, construction, right? AI has a place in all those industries. But I really look at that, all the different dimensions of that, and say, that's what I'd look at to say, where would I get started, right? Is it, do you have the data and you just don't know what to do with it? Then, let's go down the path of analytics, and machine learning, and, understand a bit about neural networks and how, that gets applied from a deep learning perspective. And, there's a variety of pathways that you can take to gain that knowledge. Certainly through the IISE, certainly through continuing education offices, not just ours, James, right, but across the country and across the world. There's pathways to pick up these skills, I think, because the world is recognizing this is our future. So, of course, there's the providers. If you permit me to mention some of the competition, James, right? There's the Coursera's and those providers that, are offering, let's say, not for credit programs in this space as well. And there's a lot of really good programming out there that you can take to get started. But I would start with where's your need in your organization, because that's where I think you're going to get the most traction and the most support.
That's really good advice, and certainly, to shamelessly plug both of our organizations. Certainly, IISE is there to offer some courses in this curriculum. We actually have a course coming up that Michael and Dr. Amaba are going to be teaching, and then certainly Binghamton University, where Michael is on faculty there, is a fantastic university for your ongoing educational needs, and Dr. Amaba through IBM offers a fair amount of ongoing education, webinars and ongoing education as well. So those are three good places to take a look for content if you're looking around. Flipping back for a moment to our Lean and Six Sigma roots from certainly this all works together. It's all one big puzzle. But I'm thinking about how what Michael's telling us about learning more and where to go, and thinking a little bit about Hungda's and his co-authors, not just Hungda, but his team. They won the best paper competition last year, and I should say that Michael's team was an awardee for that as well. So two awardees right here on the call. Hungda, I was really blown away by some of the tips that you had in there in terms of making Lean Six Sigma initiatives work in an organization. And I was wondering if you could share a few of those with our audience today. It was if you folks haven't read it, check out the archives of the conference, or check out the wonderful magazine article that IISE did on Dr. Wan's work last year. So Hungda, tell us a little bit more about that. Give us some pro tips.
Thank you, James. Yeah, so Lean Six Sigma is, becoming really important for every organization in manufacturing, service, and everywhere. But I think the most important thing to us is that making it stay is the most difficult part of implementing Lean and Six Sigma. So in our research, we realized that it's really the tip is really to build a culture that sustains the Lean Six Sigma. And how to build the Lean culture, you need to have everyone's buy-in, and so you need to get everybody understand the needs for being lean, and then the leaders needs the lean practices and lean mindset, and gradually build up the team. So I think that's just the quick tip for everybody wanting to sustain the lean culture. And James, I would actually like to talk about another side of the work, because in addition to the work we presented, I think what's really interesting is about the work the collaboration we did. So the work was done by myself and two of my friends in Air Force. And I can tell you, I've never worked in Air Force, so three of us never worked together. At least I never worked with them together on a job, but we got together because of the conference. And so for the conference, we started connecting, and we learned from each other. We got a lot of opportunities to share our thoughts and develop our work to be presented at the conference. And because of this collaboration, we were able to look at the same system, look at the same thing from two different angles, and it broadens my view. And it also we also brought opportunities for the folks in Air Force to share their thoughts at the Engineering Lean Six Sigma conference. So from both sides, we were very happy about this opportunity. And so what I would like to say is that sometimes the collaborations may bring you to different places. Yeah. So as myself as an educator in a college, I never thought that I would be working with the experts in Air Force in terms of Lean Six Sigma. And well, guess what? We presented our work and get appreciated by the other experts.
Wow, that's really great. What a great insight, Hungda. And gosh, I think so often that for us as practitioners, the journey is just as important as the destination. And I always feel like I learn so much from the people I work with. I feel like I learn more from them than they learn from me. And I think that's a really great point. And again, another shameless plug. What better place to meet like-minded people, who are willing to work with you outside of maybe the area that you normally work in than a conference like ours. So that's really a great point. And it's amazing, like you said earlier, everything from how does the Chick-fil-A drive-through work to how do we make sure that our country is safe and that the Air Force has efficient processes. So that's a pretty wide range that we get at the conference. So pretty fun.
Yes, yeah. So I really enjoyed meeting with people and learning from everybody.
I think you are not alone in that at all. I think everybody on on the podcast today would totally agree with that.
Here.
Well, I'm gonna switch gears briefly from that wonderful collaborative attitude that we have, and I'm gonna maybe pick a scab with Johanna. So I don't, I have to be careful here. Now, back in 2019 at the conference, Johanna participated in a panel session, which is always a highlight of the conference, and the panel session was Lean versus Six Sigma, the showdown. And at the end, we called it a tie, but a lot of people think Johanna and her team were robbed. Yeah, Johanna's giving us the thumbs down, so she thinks she was robbed, and I don't know. I might agree. I don't know, but with all kidding aside, having heard what Michael talked about and what Hungda talked about, Johanna, how do you see Lean, Six Sigma, and data science? All of these facets of what we do working together to solve problems.
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to clarify with everyone that I am not against Lean. I love playing games and I'm very competitive when I play games. So the panel, I got really into, okay, let's show everyone that Six Sigma is better than Lean. But it was actually very hard because it is not. It is just, I use Lean, I use Six Sigma, and I could not say that one is superior to the other. And the answer is really, we need to have a lot of tools. I think at Mayo, health system engineer, quality improvement advisor are usually considered the problem solvers. And we are even called sometimes the process people. And we are asked to help on some projects that are not always very straightforward, where a simple DMAIC approach doesn't always work. And so what I've really learned over my 5 years of experience is that the more tools I will have in my toolbox, the best engineer I can become. And that's really how I can really help the people that are asking for help. And what we're really seeing in the industry, and I think it's everywhere, is that the problems themselves are evolving. We are moving in an environment where everything is becoming more digital. We are collecting data everywhere to the point where a lot of people don't even know what to do with the data. And because the problems are evolving, we also, as problem solvers, need to evolve and to learn how the solution we provide can also evolve. And that's really where data science is going to become an important part of being an engineer and integrating Lean Six Sigma with data science and having more tools to choose from when we are faced with a problem.
Wow, that's really insightful, Johanna. Thank you. And thanks for being gracious to clarify your position from the panel there. I think everybody knew it was all in good fun, but I will say if we had to award points, I think you were the top point getter there. I think you did a good job on that panel, advocating your position. I think you must have come in with confidence and a process.
Yep, that's always the two key elements.
There you go. I've learned a lot so far from everybody. I'd love just to go round robin here with our panelists, and I'm going to put you on the spot too. Even though our co-host didn't think she was going to get put on the spot, I'm going to put her on the spot too. I'm wondering if we could go round robin real quick and just say, it's been an interesting last year for everybody. What's the most important thing you learned in the last year?
I think the most important thing that I learned throughout this year was being able to teach everything completely virtual. And getting really good reviews from it. So starting out, there was a lot of, it was a big learning experience trying to teach Six Sigma and Lean completely online. And now I feel like I've gotten the hang of it really well. And I feel like we're probably going back to in-person in the fall, but I feel like now I have a hang of it and I've learned how to do certain things online, like play a lean simulation game online. And just this year. So I feel like I've just learned so much this year and how to connect with people virtually, and something that I probably would have never learned without COVID, even though it's had horrible health effects and everything like that. But there have been some positives from it.
Yeah, certainly it's forced us to think differently. Johanna?
To me, really, the last year had taught me two things. On the personal level, slow down. I'm the kind of person who always had plans for my weekends, my vacation, and everything just fell down. And I had to learn to live day by day. On the professional level, on the other hand, that was the opposite. I had to learn to work really fast. We had to create new processes in days when we usually like to kind of take our time and evaluate the solution before moving on to anything. And on the research side, we had to start research on COVID really quickly. And so really move the research so fast that something we were not able to do before. So that's really the two kind of side of the coins that I learned last year.
Oh, that's really insightful. Awesome. Thank you, Johanna. Hungda or Michael? Michael?
Yeah, I'll go next. Thank you, James. Yeah, I think what I learned is just how committed we are to one another's success. And that was really uplifting to see that. I mean, I think we all realized we were facing a lot of unknowns, right? A crisis that we had no idea how it was going to turn out. To some degree, we still don't, right? And we just all seemed to pull together, right, to help one another be successful. I think there was understanding there. I think we were given a little bit of grace from on high and from our colleagues, right, that said, hey, we know this isn't going to be perfect as we, start down this path, but, we're going to figure it out together. And I just found that, very, very encouraging and very inspiring.
Oh, yeah, that's really awesome. I completely agree. Hungda, how about you?
Yeah, I would like to share a little bit about keeping an open mind for changes. Yeah, because from the past year, we all know that things can change quite a bit and rapidly. So we know changes will happen sooner or later, even if, you don't like it, it's going to come. But I think changes also bring opportunities. For example, this past year, it actually accelerated a lot of things. Yeah, so with my institute, we're teaching online now. So a year before, we wouldn't imagine our senior professors teaching in front of a computer. But now all of a sudden, everyone is an expert in teaching virtually. The changes bring opportunities. So whether you like it or not, keep an open mind. And sometimes, good things will happen. Yeah, for example, right now we're giving talks to different people, not just in front of you anymore, but when we have webinars or seminars, we actually have attendees from other places, from India, from Mexico, Colombia, everywhere. So that side has been amazing. So keep an open mind.
That's really great advice. It's really great advice. I think it's forced us all to think differently, and that's probably a good thing. All net total, it's probably a good thing. Yeah, all in all. So great advice, Hungda. I really appreciate that. Any closing thoughts from our group before I turn it back over to our co-host, Dr. Gentry, to give us a more shameless plug on the conference this year? Tell us a little bit more about where it is, when it is, and how you can attend.
It's going to be great to be in person, James. I'm excited at the thought of that, just to be able to meet and collaborate again, and being with industrial and systems engineers and Lean Six Sigma practitioners. It doesn't get any better than that.
No, it really doesn't.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Awesome. Dr. Gentry, do you want to tell us a little bit more? How can they participate in this year's conference?
Sure. So you can go to the link for the conference that we will send with the podcast. But if you want to know more information, you can just go to IISE.org and then type in the Lean Six Sigma Data Science Conference, and there's conference links there. But we have until the end of April for you to submit your abstracts, which please submit. We would love to have a lot of abstracts to review. The conference is going to be September 20th through 22nd in Atlanta. And the great thing about where the conference is in Atlanta is that you can take the MARTA straight from the airport and then walk maybe 5 minutes, if that, to the hotel. I have been at a conference at this hotel already, and from a few years ago, not during COVID, but a few years ago. And I did this very thing. I felt very safe. So I just, like I said, got off the airplane, got on the MARTA, took it straight there, walked to the hotel, and then did that on my way back. So it's very convenient. You don't have to wait on an Uber or anything like that. So I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a great 3 days. We will have 3 keynote speakers, one each day. All 3 of them are from all different areas of the industry. So it's going to be really great for networking and just being back in person.
We're all going to get to see each other live in person, September 20th through the 22nd in Atlanta, Georgia. And as Liz said, boy, you can't get there any easier. Quick flight into Atlanta from lots of places in North America and beyond, and very, very easy trip on the safe and efficient Atlanta subway, the MARTA. So you just hop right over. I think it's a $2 ride on the on the subway, so cost effective as well. So tell your boss that you're going to save them lots in travel expenses, and come see us September 20th through the 22nd. We have 3 really outstanding folks to speak to us at the Lean Six Sigma and Data Science Conference this year. We have Morgan Smith, the former president and CEO of CNS, who manages Oak Ridge National Laboratory. Joyce Siegley, the director of productivity management at Northside Hospital in the Atlanta area. And Dr. Michael Perch, who is the H.B. Harkins Jr. Professor in Petroleum Engineering at the University of Texas at Austin. I'm really excited about all 3 of those speakers. I think they're going to be fantastic, really dynamic folks, and they're going to give us a lot to think about, both in Lean and Six Sigma and in data science. So it's going to be a fantastic speaker each day of the conference. Dr. Gentry, I was thinking, we have a lot of student members who listen to our podcast. How could they participate in this year's conference?
Thanks for asking, James. So we just sent out a letter to all the IISE student chapters, to their presidents, about different volunteer opportunities that students can do. If you are interested, you can email IISE customer service, and then they can connect you with either me or James, and we'll be happy to also help you with that. And what's great about the volunteer opportunities is if you volunteer, it's going to take away with some of your registration costs. A few of my students actually did that 2 years ago, and their registration costs were very minimal because they volunteered. And not only that, when they volunteered, they said that they got to meet so many different people that they wouldn't have been able to meet if they hadn't volunteered. And now they have added them on LinkedIn, and one of them actually got a job from someone they met at the conference. So definitely think about volunteering. It's a great opportunity. We have a lot of different opportunities that you could do. So
awesome. That's a great point. And what a great opportunity for students to start to get to network and to know folks in the industry, particularly if they're interested in Lean Six Sigma or data science as a career. So yeah, great opportunity for them. Well, another great way for students to participate is through our poster competition, and it's not limited to just students. And Johanna Ficatier is our subcommittee chair for the poster team this year, and also the incoming conference chair for next year. So, Johanna, can you tell us a little bit about how the poster competition works?
Absolutely. So we will bring back the poster competition this year. I know last year we had trouble with the digital environment to make that happen, but we are working hard to bring back the poster competition, open to anyone, student and industry practitioner. And so we will have more detail to come, but that would be basically follow the same idea as an oral presentation, where we will have people submit through the same platform. And then we would look at all the poster. All poster would be displayed, and there is usually a funny little competition with some great prizes to win.
Awesome. Yeah, that is a coveted prize to win. And the posters are always really, really great. It's a great way to present your work. If you're maybe a little nervous about putting together a full abstract or writing a paper, or having to present a 30-minute presentation, posters are a great way to show off your work with maybe a little less anxiety. So it's a great way to get started. Thank you, Johanna. And I'd like to thank all of our guests today. Oh my gosh, what a fantastic group. You guys inspire me every time that I talk to you, and I'm so grateful to have gotten to know all of you. And each of you, I think I met through the Lean Six Sigma and Data Science Conference. So what a wonderful testament to the power of that conference and its power to build friendships and collaboration. So thank you all so much for the hard work that you do every year on the behalf of IISE. And I'm really looking forward to seeing each of you in person September 20th through the 22nd.
Thank you all. Thanks, James, for leading this. It was awesome.
You, James.
Thank
you, Liz.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Problem Solved, the IISE podcast, a production of the Institute of Industrial and Systems Engineers in Metro Atlanta. This podcast is produced by David Brandt, Keith Albertson, and Michael Hughes, and edited by David Brandt. You can listen to all episodes of Problem Solved and learn about sponsorship opportunities by visiting our website, podcast.iise.org. You can also learn more about IISE at the Institute's website, www.iise.org.